So how do you work through like those balances between, how much info you put into each section? And also like, how do you know what story is going to be best for which medium?
Well, I guess for the first part with working with artists, you know, that's it's sometimes like I'm still kind of new to it, but like I'll look at their style and see how they interpret a page or a story. And it kind of gives me an idea of how they work. But really, like one of my kind of methods with artists is I try to do a short project with them first.
Mhm.
Um, with a so where we do a character design and we just do a short script, whether it's for an anthology or something else, so that I can get that idea, right? And
Yeah.
and see how much like with Anna, um, we did a short together and I sent her the character descriptions and the whole idea of the world. And then we did a short based in the Mary Shelley world for Cthulhu's Hard to Spell anthology.
Oh, cool.
And that was the first time that those two characters show up. People don't really know that, but that is the first time they show up because Anna, I wanted to work with her. I'd worked with her. I had been in an anthology her art was in, and I saw her art and I was like, oh, I really dig the way she did fire. And that's all that started. That's how that started. I was like, oh, I like her fire. I'm gonna email her and see if she wants to do this. I think she'd make a cool, there was some fire in mine. I was like, that'd be cool. And for some reason I just thought I just in my mind I was like could be really good for this project I'm obsessed with right now, which was Mary Shelley. And we did it. And it with her, I do a more bare I'm not like crazy detailed, but if I do put the detail in, like very specifically, I'm probably really passionate about the detail,
Yeah.
because like, yeah, I mean, I give enough and I usually will send like, cause we do a lot of period stuff and, because there's the back in time and there's certain
Mhm.
things. I send pictures of things if I have a real specific viewpoint on how something looks, so I will send visual references, which I think is a really good helpful tool. You could put them within your script if you want. I know some artists, some writers do. They just put the visual references right into their
Yeah.
scripts. I usually will just attach them and be like, this is what I'm thinking about for this room. This is like the vibe of the outfit. This is, if it's really important to me. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, what I learned a lot with Mark when I did Pistol, because Pistol was my first comic, and I was just kind of getting to know the medium, is that there was a lot of I was trying to do too much in a page, because that's the screenwriter in me. It was just
Yep.
trying to do too much, and like learning how to do less was like a big lesson in that process with Mark. Um, but yeah, a lot of it is looking at what they've already done and figuring out what one of my projects or stories would connect with them, because I'm in the process of doing that for two different stories right now. So I have like lists of artists that I'm looking at, guys. So I'm eventually going to email people. But yeah, like trying to figure out, is that style going to fit the story? So
Mhm.
because what I don't want to do is pick an artist and go, oh, this is not doesn't match anything they've done. And now I'm
Yeah.
going to ask them to do something totally out of their wheelhouse. And then I'm going to be frustrated when they send me back their style. Like that's
Mhm.
important. Like you're if you have a visual like reference of a way, like I'm doing a horror piece right now involving Krampus, and I do have a very specific way I want Krampus to look, right?
Mhm.
So I have to look at the artist and decide if I think that they are going to be able to draw that Krampus, because I don't want to like force it.
Yeah, you want it
Yeah.
to be very organic and
Yeah.
natural when you're working with them, and I love that because that's so crazy. It's actually really reinforcing for how I operate too, because I
Yeah.
always thought the same mindset. I was like, what? Anyone I work with, I should do a short story with. You get a vibe, you get a feeling if you want to move forward to a bigger series. I would hate to start like, let's do the 6 issue thing or this 4 issue
Hmm.
thing, and then you're just like, oh, issue one was like kind of rough working with him and I got to do this
Yeah.
whole thing and I'm just not satisfied. And it's probably nothing against him. It's just chemistry. It's just how
Yeah.
things balance out and what you're looking for as a creator and what they're doing as a creator. And
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't mesh up, but like doing those short little sprints, like it elevates you a lot better and it really gets you to understand each other and you could kind of
Mhm.
edit things out and any like early frustrations or misunderstandings are kind of wiped away almost immediately.
Yeah.
And then if it is someone that you're going to work well with, it just clicks.
Yeah.
We did the punk anthology up here, and that's
Okay.
where I had our friend Nicholas do the cover, and we did Teenage Babylon, the first Teenage Babylon story in there. And
Okay.
then Nicholas like had an injury, and I was like, you know what, it's kind of good that he just did that short story because he had to bow out from the book. And then I found Christian,
Hmm.
and we did this Ashcan together, and it just was the coolest thing we've ever put together. And now we're super excited to launch the whole series together. But like
Nice.
it took that little intro moment to kind of just like solidify stuff. And if you
Yeah.
jump into projects too wildly, too big, the bigger chance it is to fall apart right away.
Hmm.
And not that that's not like, possible even with a more solidified artist, but like the bridge is a lot weaker.
Yeah.
Your everything about that partnership is a lot weaker. So I love being able to establish that in a shorter anthology. And that's kind of why Apollo, all three of these that we put out were just three anthologies. That was our first releases, just three,
Hmm.
kind of giving the branding for our voice, punk rock,
Yeah.
sci-fi, and just like a passionate viewpoint of something for the Shadow Anthology. And so like that just gave a lot of creators, we found out, room to breathe and also discover other creators. Other
Yeah.
people are walking away from these anthology projects doing books together. Kai Brown, who did the Shadow Anthology, has like four
Yeah.
creators working on her movie that she's putting out.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
yeah, so it's really cool like hearing that your story has been extremely similar in that sense and how
Hmm.
beneficial anthologies are overall.